We're here on Staten Island, New York, at a rally held by the newly formed Amazon Labor Union, the members of which shocked the world by becoming the first Amazon workforce in the U.S. to successfully vote to unionize the massive JFK 8 warehouse.
A first in the U.S. in Amazon's 27 years.
Another Amazon facility that is just across the street. Workers there are going to be voting in their own union election this coming week, hoping to become the second Amazon facility in the U.S. to successfully unionize. And one thing is clear from attending this rally today: the energy is real, the motivation is real, and these workers aren't backing down.
The buck stops in Staten Island! No, I'm not kidding! This is our Alamo!
This is the beginning of the resurgence of the labor movement. Remember, there was a time when unions were 35% of the workforce in the United States. It was 6% and steadily on a decline. But with Amazon Labor Union winning their first building, it reset everything. It's taking us into another time. Starbucks is next. Home Depot is next. Target is next. Walmart is next. It's only just beginning.
Today is Solidarity Sunday. This is a great start to the rally, great start to the movement, great start to the election vote for LDJ5. We want to continue to make history. Next week, this is the second election for ALU, and there'll be the first rotation in American history to be unionized as well.
If LDJ5 becomes the second Amazon facility to unionize, it will prove that what happened at JFK 8 was not a fluke, but is the beginning of a historic movement to unionize the second largest private employer in the United States and one of the most powerful corporations in the world.
Amazon is fighting us really hard. They're trying to separate JFK 8 from LDJ 5. They say, oh, JFK 8's harder. We don't need the union here at LDJ 5.
One of the main union busting tactics, the arguments that management has been putting forward at LDJ 5 has been about, why don't you guys wait and see what the JFK 8 workers get? Then, once you see that happen, and granted, once that happens, it could be years. You know, they can draw this contract battle out for a long time. That would be the best thing for Amazon, to make these JFK 8 workers as isolated as possible as this one small thing. They want to be able to say this was a fluke. This was a fluke, and they want to be able to smash the union up and just talk about it like it was in the past. And what the worst thing that would happen for them is to have a second site right next door unionized, because then the I think the floodgates have already opened with one site unionizing, but two victories back to back would really show how this isn't just a one warehouse thing. This is going to be nationwide. I mean, and it's global. Amazon's a global company.
Earlier today, Senator Bernie Sanders and Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez also came out to show their support.
What we need Amazon to do first and foremost is to recognize the union that won their election fair and square. Amazon's out here. In Bessemer, they changed the street lights. In Bessemer, they mess with the post offices. They'll recognize that loss. But when these workers win fair and square, they refuse to recognize their victory. So first and foremost, Jeff Bezos, Amazon, everybody, we got to recognize the fact that they did this thing and they won a union election fair and square. And we have the first unionized Amazon in America right here in New York City. If Amazon and Blue Origin wants $10 billion contracts, and if they want $100 million tax breaks from the state, well, they got to do their end of the deal too.
What this whole thing is about is working people standing up against the extraordinary level of greed that we are seeing in this country.
Right.
I don't know how, when you are worth $170 billion, why you are spending money trying to break a union so that workers can have decent wages, decent working conditions, decent health care, decent housing. How much money does Bezos and the other billionaires need?
With the union bus, it's a little tough for us, but I know we got this. From what I've seen, they are paying people $400 per hour to talk to people instead of giving us raises, instead of giving us benefits, using that money for us. They're using it for people just to walk around and talk to people. That's it. That's not, from what I've seen, that's not right.
And during this whole pandemic, we learned what matters to these corporate companies, and it's profit over human life. Because they will work you with COVID, PPE requirements were laxed. Even the Trump administration gave letters out for workers to be able to work during the pandemic when people had to stay home. So it gave that sense of nobody cares about me, the regular worker.
Some people will say, well, you know, Amazon, it's not the worst thing in the world. Like, I hear you guys, but like, it's a job. I make it work for me. And it's really just pushing against the idea that like a job has to be horrible and the worst thing ever to make it worth it to organize. And really the whole idea that any victory or any gains that you get as a worker at an Amazon warehouse that comes from Amazon can be taken away just as quickly.